I have to start today's deep dive with a confession.
Oh.
It's a memory that is just seared into my brain from, I think, fourth grade. And I have a feeling a lot of people are going to relate to this.
Okay, I'm listening.
Okay.
Especially if it's about that era where everyone was suddenly obsessed with their sign.
Oh, I know exactly where you're going with this. The playground hierarchy.
The playground hierarchy, exactly.
So picture this. You're 10 years old, you're by the swings, and kids are trading these astrological stats like they're, I don't know, high-value baseball cards.
Mm-hmm.
You had the Leos just strutting around going, I'm a lion, I'm the king of the jungle.
Apple food chain.
Right. Then you had the Scorpios trying to look all mysterious and dangerous, talking about their sting.
Of course.
Even the Aries kids were like running into walls because they're the ram. It was cool. It was a brand. And then you have the poor kid who has to quietly admit, I'm a Cancer.
Oof. The crab.
The crab. The source material we're looking at today opens with this exact scenario.
Yeah.
The author talks about just the wrinkling of noses they faced.
Yeah, that's tough.
Because at 10 years old, you don't hear nurturing water sign. You hear a scary word and you see a picture of a creepy crustacean. It is a PR nightmare.
It's a tough break. You're basically starting your social life with a handicap.
Seriously.
No.
But the author mentions a turning point, and this is where it shifts from, ew, gross, to, wait a minute, I might be winning.
And it has nothing to do with the stars.
Nothing. It has everything to do with the calendar.
The summer birthday advantage.
The summer birthday advantage. It dawned on them that while, Capricorns were having their birthdays totally overshadowed by Christmas,
Right.
the Cancers were living it up. Lake parties, cookouts, sleepovers on a Tuesday just because there's no school. It turns out July is prime real estate for a kid.
It really is. But what's so fascinating here is that this childhood anxiety, this whole is my sign weird thing, it actually leads us to a much bigger question.
And a much more objective one.
Exactly. It moves us away from the playground and into, well, hard data.
Right. And that is the core mission of today's deep dive. We are not here to read your horoscope. We're not going to tell you if you'll meet a tall, dark stranger.
Or why your Wi-Fi is broken.
Right. We are asking something strictly statistical. Is your zodiac sign actually rare? Or does it just feel like everyone shares your birthday?
And to answer that, we are looking at a really interesting breakdown. This isn't some magazine quiz. We're deep diving into a data analysis from the Washington Post.
So purely a numbers game.
Purely numbers. And the results are, well, they're surprisingly lopsided. We tend to think of the zodiac as a perfect circle, right? A pie chart with 12 equal slices.
Yeah, you assume it's a 1 in 12 chance for anything.
But reality and biology doesn't work in perfect fractions. The pie slices are not equal at all.
So, buckle up. By the end of this, we are going to reveal the #1 most common sign. We're also going to look at something called the Great Winter Birth Slump.
And the science, or maybe the sociology behind why certain months are just packed with birthdays.
I think you said there was some meteorology in there, too.
A little bit of biology, sociology, and, yeah, maybe some meteorology.
Okay, I want to get to that. But first, how do we even know this? You can't just call up every person in America.
No, you can't. And honestly, this is the part that makes this study so credible. The analyst in me loves this because they didn't just rely on a simple poll.
Why not? Wouldn't people just tell you their birthday?
Well, think about self-selection bias. If I put out a poll on, say, Twitter asking, what's your sign? Who's going to answer?
People who are into astrology.
Exactly. You get a flood of Leos who want to talk about themselves. You're not going to get the skeptics, so your data would be completely skewed.
That makes total sense.
Right.
So how did they get the raw numbers then?
It was a tricky, multi-pronged approach. They had to synthesize data from some real heavy hitters.
Like who?
We're talking about the data firm YouGov, the American Community Survey from the U.S. Census Bureau, the Social Security Administration, and this is the really clever part state voter files.
Voter files. That seems random. Why do they need to know if I voted to know if I'm a Pisces?
This is a great example of creative data journalism. So think about what the census tells us. It can give you birth month ranges. X million babies were born in August.
Okay, that's a general idea.
But it's a blunt instrument for astrology because the signs don't follow the calendar month perfectly. They change mid-month.
Right, around the 20th or 21st. So knowing someone was born in August doesn't tell you if they're a Leo or a Virgo. You need the specific day.
Exactly. And the census isn't publishing exact birth dates for privacy reasons, but voter registration files. In many states, those are public, and they contain exact dates of birth.
Ah, I see. So they used those to bridge the gap.
They did. They took the broad volume from the census and overlaid it with the specific daily distribution from voter files and Social Security data.
So they essentially built a heat map of the national birthday frequency day by day.
Precisely. And I think that's an important takeaway. Astrology is often seen as woo-woo, but this ranking, this is demographic hardness.
Yes.
This is population data.
Which brings us to the big reveal, the heavyweight champion of the zodiac, who's the most common sign in the United States.
Well, looking at the data, it is not even a close race. There is one clear runaway winner. The most common zodiac sign in America is Virgo.
Virgo, the maiden.
Virgo, people born between August 23rd and September 22nd.
So if you're Virgo, look around the next time you're in a crowded room. You are not alone. You are the majority.
You really are. And what's kind of fun, if we just dip our toes into the personality side for a second, is what this majority supposedly represents.
Okay, let's do it.
Virgos are earth signs, along with Taurus and Capricorn.
And the vibe of an earth sign is what? Grounded.
Grounded, practical. The archetype is the solid, reliable citizen.
I like that. I mean, if you have to have a majority population, you want it to be the reliable ones.
It helps. But there's another layer. They're also classified as a mutable sign, like Gemini, Sagittarius, and Pisces.
Mutable means changeable, right?
In astrology, yeah, it implies adaptability. The cardinal signs start things, fixed signs are stubborn. But mutable signs, they go with the flow. They adapt.
That's kind of poetic, isn't it? The most common type of person in America is someone who is solid and reliable, but also adaptable. It's a pretty good national personality.
It certainly is. But let's get back to the why. Why Virgo? Is there something cosmic drawing souls to Earth in late summer?
This is where it gets really interesting, because it's not about constellations, it's all about the calendar.
Right. It's the dates. The source highlights a massive statistical dominance. It's not just that Virgo wins, it's that the month of September just crushes it.
The statistic that blew my mind was this. 9 out of the top 10 most common birth dates fall in September. It's a birthday factory.
It is. If you have a friend group of 10 people, chances are you're buying cake in September. But as an analyst, my brain immediately asks, why?
You have to do the math backwards.
Exactly. The conception timeline. If a baby is born in mid-September, when was that baby initiated?
We're talking roughly 40 weeks prior.
9 months, which lands us squarely in it. Late November and December.
The dark, cold days.
The dark, cold days. The source material points to the sociology of winter. First, it's cold outside.
The snuggle factor.
The snuggle factor is real. In the U.S., late November and December bring a drop in temperature. People stay indoors. The days are shorter.
You're not out playing beach volleyball, you're on the couch.
You're on the couch, but it's not just the temperature, right? Because February is often colder, but we don't see a huge spike in November birthdays to match it.
That's a good point. So what's the missing piece?
The social calendar. Late November through December is the holiday season. Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's.
People are off work.
People are off work. The stress of the daily grind might be a little lower. There's simply, as the source puts it, more time to get busy.
Plus the whole atmosphere, right? Mistletoe, cozy fires. It's cuffing season.
Exactly. So Virgo's dominance is basically a result of holiday cheer, vacation days, and freezing temperatures.
I love that. We are a nation of holiday romances that turned into September babies. So Virgo's number 1. Who are the runners-up?
The top tier is all that warm weather baby group. Following Virgo at number 1, we have the sign from our intro story coming in at number 2, Cancer.
Redemption for the crabs.
Yeah.
See? You might get teased, but you are legion.
Big time. Then at number 3, we have Leo. And number 4 is Libra, which catches the tail end of that September boom.
So summer and early fall are just the busy season for maternity wards.
Absolutely. Then we round out the top 5 with Gemini, representing late May and June.
Okay, so that's the top tier. What about the middle of the pack?
This is the middle of the bell curve.
Yeah.
At rank 6, we have Scorpio. 7 is Taurus. 8, Sagittarius.
Yeah.
And rank 9, Pisces.
It's interesting how scattered those are. They're just kind of floating in the middle.
Right. They represent the months where conception patterns are, normal. No huge holiday spikes or drop-offs.
But then we get to the bottom, the rare ones, the unicorns of the zodiac.
The bottom tier. And this is where the numbers start to drop off significantly. At rank 10, we have Aquarius. At rank 11, Aries.
And finally, the rarest sign in the United States is
Capricorn.
Capricorn, the sea goat, born roughly December 22nd to January 19th.
If you are a Capricorn, you are a statistical anomaly compared to your Virgo friends.
This matches my experience, actually. I feel like I know a million Virgos, but Capricorns, they're scarce. So let's connect this back. Why is Capricorn so rare?
Well, do the backwards math again. To be born in late December or early January, conception would have to happen in...
Wait, March, early April?
Exactly. Springtime.
But wait, isn't spring fever a thing? You'd think people would be enthusiastic when the flowers start blooming.
You would think, but the data shows what the Washington Post calls the Great Winter Birth Slump. The months with the fewest birthdays are January, December, and November. Consistently.
That is fascinating. So despite the idea of spring romance, we aren't reproducing as much in the spring.
It seems so. The slump sits directly opposite that warm weather baby boom.
Why do you think that is? Is it just because we're busier?
That's the leading sociological theory. Think about March and April. There are no major holidays that give you a week off. Taxes are due. The work year is in full swing.
People are outside, they're active. They just aren't staying in bed all morning like they might on December 26th.
Precisely. So if you're a Capricorn, Aquarius, or Pisces, those winter babies, you really are rarer.
And this has real-world implications, even just social ones. If you're a kid with a January birthday, not only is it overshadowed by the holidays...
The classic Capricorn complaint.
Right. But there are also just fewer kids in your class with birthdays around the same time. If you're a Virgo, you're probably bringing cupcakes on the same day as 3 other kids.
Exactly. The Virgo creates a birthday week cluster. The Capricorn stands alone.
It changes the dynamic. You know, we started this talking about the stigma of being a Cancer, but knowing you're part of the second biggest group is kind of validating.
And for Capricorns, well, you get to feel exclusive. You're a limited edition.
Exactly. You know, looking at this list, it really highlights something profound about how external forces shape us.
How so?
Well, we think of our sign as this destiny written in the stars. But when you look at this data, you realize the frequency of these personalities is dictated by really earthly things, weather patterns, the federal holiday calendar.
The fact that it gets dark early in December, that is a really good point. We are products of our environment in the most literal sense.
So here's the question that keeps popping into my head. If the weather dictates the birth rate, does the weather dictate our national personality?
Oh, it's interesting. You mean, does the climate create the culture?
Think about it. If the majority of Americans are Virgos because of cold winters, and Virgos are supposedly reliable and adaptable, does that mean the American character is just a side effect of our climate?
That is a massive question. You're asking if geography is destiny.
Maybe it is. Imagine if our seasons were flipped, like in Australia.
Right. Their winter slump would be at a completely different time of year.
Exactly. If their conception spike happened during their winter, our summer, they'd be a nation of Aries and Taurus. Would the whole vibe of the country shift?
It implies that our cultural identity, at least the astrological part of it, is tied to the fact that we have a cold winter.
It's wild. Our cosmic destiny is really just a reflection of a snowstorm in 1995.
And the fact that offices close between Christmas and New Year's, don't forget the corporate calendar.
True. We are products of HR policies and blizzards.
So what does this all mean for the listener? What's the takeaway?
I think the summary is pretty clear. If you're a Virgo, you reign supreme thanks to holiday coziness. If you're a Capricorn, you're a rare result of the spring hustle.
And we should probably drop the mandatory disclaimer here, right?
We should. The source reminds us that astrology isn't considered a hard science. We've been using data to count people, but that doesn't validate the horoscope predictions themselves.
Right. The fact that there are more Virgos is a hard fact. But the idea that Virgos are reliable, that's still in the realm of pseudoscience.
No, but as the article says, it is fun to dabble. It's fun to see how you stack up. It gives you a sense of place.
It does. You realize your birthday isn't random. It's part of a wave.
I love that. So next time someone asks, what's your sign? Don't just think about the constellation. Think about the calendar. Ask yourself, was I a holiday romance baby or a spring fever outlier?
A humbling thought.
Thanks for diving into the data with us today.
Always a pleasure.